So today I want to give you an update on my potted plants, and also want to harvest some of my tomatoes and lettuce and peppers. So you can see I have some beautiful peppers here that I'm going to be harvesting. I think maybe just this one, just because I want to let these grow a little bit more. They seem like they still need some time. But let me take this one that looks like a good size. So I'm just going to snap it off. It's really shiny and beautiful. And then I have these mini tomatoes that I'm going to go ahead and also snap off. Even though the plant looks really dry, the tomatoes are still ripening on it, so it's still alive. And I want to go ahead and cut this lettuce as well, some of these lettuce leaves for a salad. They look really beautiful and tender. And I'm gonna get some of these curly lettuce leaves as well. So these are doing very well. I think they're gonna get a little more fruit on them, or vegetable, I guess, of the pepper. And there's gonna be some more in there. I think the tomato plant is done. Maybe the lettuce will come back. I have these kale plants that seem to have something eating them. There's a lot of holes on them, so I'm not sure. I think there's a worm in here. Let me see if I can focus on it. Yeah, so here it is right there. You can see all those right there. They're the ones who seem to be eating it. Not sure what type of caterpillar that is, but I'm going to try to do some research. Let's see if I can find more about them. And it's okay if they eat them, because as you can see, I already cut most of the plant off for a salad. And I still haven't identified this plant right here. I'm not sure what it is. It has some vines, some long bean-like fruit on it. So here's my little harvest. I think for some potted plants, it's pretty good. It's gonna be like a nice salad, and I'm gonna add it to some other greens that I have. But let me show you my potted plants. My potted plants are really doing great right now. A lot of them are in bloom, so I'm excited to show you around in this beautiful sunny windy day. So you can see it is so beautiful out here. You can see the trees moving around with the wind. So let me show you around, and I'll start over here. I have a big basil plant right here. My basil is doing amazing this year, and I have two big plants, including this one and that one right there. And as you can see, they're both doing beautifully. And I love basil. I use it in a lot of recipes, so I'm really happy with these plants. I have some zinnias in here in this pot as well, and this one is flowering. It has a tiny flowers, just so dainty and pretty. So if we look down here, we have all my succulents, some arrangements that I worked on recently in my previous garden video, and those are really doing great. They're growing beautifully. In this section I have this beautiful white begonia that I've had since last year, and it survived indoors, and now it started to take off and bloom. It's so pretty. It's a nice beautiful pop of white that I really love, and it likes this spot because it's shady most of the day, but it does get some morning and afternoon sunlight. I have the arrangement that I worked on in my last video, and that's doing beautifully. So is this one that's not rooted, but it's still doing great because I haven't watered it too much. I have a small cactus there, another tiny cactus. These hanging plants are doing beautifully. My draconia is doing great. This is the plant I transplanted in my previous video, and it's doing beautifully as well. It's growing into the pot. It definitely needed more space. Here is my Hoya. Look at these leaves. Aren't those so gorgeous? Look at that color. This is a cutting I got maybe a couple years ago from a friend, and the other two I already had. So it's a different variety in here. So it's doing really great. My cactus back here still has some blooms that are about to open maybe in the next couple days. My sticks on fire, it's beautiful, still growing, getting red and orange with the sun. My lavender, look at how beautiful that is. It's full of blooms. It smells amazing. Here is a beautiful white flower with the sedum. Crown of thorns, white. Another cactus that has some blooms on it. I wonder when they're going to be opening, but they're so hairy. Here I have my other lavender. It's doing beautifully as well. It hasn't flowered, but it has grown a lot. I have some more begonias down there, a peace lily, my nostorium that it's losing a lot of leaves, but it's still alive, and it recently had some flowers on it. A lot more succulents down here. Jade, that's so beautiful. It's getting some red tips because I moved it from that spot back there to here, so it's getting a little bit more sun, and I love that color. So beautiful. And look at this right here. Look at that color and transparency. Isn't that amazing? It's so beautiful. Spider plants are doing beautifully. They have a lot of flower stems on them, as you can see right here. I have another variety of the sticks on fire back here. Some shade plants. That one is Christmas cactus. I have a Forbia back there. I have a Poncera back here, that right there, that I've saved from the holiday season. My bleeding heart has some blooms again, which I'm so happy with. And I have it on a little stand right here for a little height. But it got a little bit tipped over with the wind. Have some more basil plants right here. My big basil plant. Let's look up here. This is the colorful section up here that I'm so impressed with. It's so beautiful up here. And I try to put all these colorful flowers around the hummingbird feeders to attract more hummingbirds. And the hummingbird feeders here have some bees and wasps flying around it sometimes, and also some ants, which is fine, because I have another one back there that I've seen a lot of hummingbirds in. So here I have my collection of crown of thorns. So I have this tiny red one, and I have another red one right here. This is a different variety. As you can see, the leaves are much bigger than in this red one. And I have a pink one, and this one used to be yellow. So I'm really interested in that color change and why it caused that. But you can see there's a lot of ants on it, and I think they might be eating the pollen because the leaves aren't damaged. So I think maybe they're just attracted to the pollen of the plant. I have dianthus here, and this was very colorful, as you might have seen in one of my other videos. It has pink and red flowers on this pot, but right now it's slowed down a little bit. Here's another one of those sedum. How beautiful that is. Some vinca. Some violets as well. They need a little bit of weeding here. Some grass on it. I have this, I think this is kalanchoe. Has some orange blossoms here. It used to be full of it, and it hasn't flowered in a while, but I'm hoping that it will flower very soon. My other crown of thorns. Isn't that beautiful? I've had this one for a few years, and this is the most flowers I've seen on it. It really loves it out here. And my hummingbird. Cute garden decoration. Some more succulents here. This one, it's has some hanging branches. I have another sedum here. This one's a native, and it has these white fluffy flowers that I'm hoping we'll get soon. It's a little bit similar to that, but this one's native. I have a variety of mint here. Another one of those. This one is white. It's just like that one. This one, the red flowers were really beautiful a couple days ago, but now I think the sun has dried them up. Have some climbing Jew back here that's doing as well. We have some butterfly weed in this pot. Some eggplant here that's finally growing. I have my squash. I've really enjoyed the squash blossoms this season. Zinnias, butterfly weed, some tomato plants. I have another tomato plant here with a tomato growing from it. I'm excited. Some seedlings, that I don't know if they're gonna do anything. Maybe I planted them too late in the season. My ponytail palm tree there. Everything is doing so great. And I have some dainty zinnias. Are they so cute? Look at those little ones. More tomato plant. I have my rose. I brought it down from there. I think something's eating it, so I have to inspect it. I don't know if it's a caterpillar or a one of those what are they called, beetles, I guess. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep an eye on it and see what's going on here. But roses usually have a lot of pests and lots of disease that can affect it. So it will be an experiment. I'm still learning about them, but I do see some new growth on here, so that's good. I have some cucumber growing back here. Another big tomato right there. Okay. My bougainvillea here. That hasn't flowered, but I'm hoping maybe next month it will have some blooms. I brought out a dish with water for a little water fountain for birds or insects. This is cilantro and it's in bloom. I wanted to leave it in bloom for some pollinators and also to get some seeds from it. I have another variety of basil here. I have oregano, have more basil. I have cilantro, and I have epazote here as well. So everything is doing beautifully. I'm very happy with my garden right now. It loves the sun. We've gotten a lot of rain, so that's also helped with the growth. Here is the compost bin. So let's check out what's going on in there. And I'm going to be disposing of some things in here as well. Okay, it's looking good. So I have here a whole bucket of greens and some browns too, like this eggshell that I'm going to be putting in here. And I usually make these into smaller pieces. I'm gonna be bringing out my knife shortly and cutting up some of this stuff that's in here also into smaller chunks. So I have all these roses that have wilted. So I'm just spreading the petals around. And I'll probably be cutting up the sticks like that with my knife when I bring it out. And I will move this around and show you what the bottom looks like. I also have some watermelon rinds that I'm going to be cutting up. Now that everything is in here, I'm just gonna be using this knife. It's very sharp to cut up some of the stuff into smaller pieces to help the decomposition process to go faster. So here is what it looks like after I've cut up all those into little pieces with my knife. And now I'm going to be moving some things around, mainly to show you what the layers look like in the bottom. So as you can see, there's a lot of good stuff going on in here, a lot of it decomposing, and I can already see some of the compost forming. It's very soft, the stuff that I put at the bottom. Some of the trash that I put in here haven't decomposed quite yet, like the eggshell, some of the stems that I put in there, but overall is doing pretty well. So now I just want to kind of move this around a little bit and bring some of these browns on top with the grass clippings and some of these dry leaves. But overall, it's looking very good. Perfect. Now I want to water it a little bit. So I'm gonna come over here and get a little bit of the rainwater that we got recently. This really doesn't need too much. It is pretty wet right now, and I don't want to make it super soggy. Okay, perfect. So that's the update on the compost. Here is the pollinator garden. There's a lot of stuff in bloom right now. The bee balm, the green coneflower, black-eyed Susans, coreopsis, aster. You can hear the pollinators buzzing around all over. This is the coreopsis. You can see all the bees and all the beetles. There's a lot of beetles right here. So many black-eyed Susans. Here is some aster. The purple one is called liatris. A lot of milkweed, but no monarchs yet. Here's some yarrow and some green coneflower. So here's the milkweed. As you can see, it's in flower right now. There's a lot of bees on it and some beetles. There's some yarrow, beautiful white. And this meadow, it's located near the highway, which is why you can hear a lot of cars going by. So it's a very noisy area. This is also a public park, so there's people playing frisbee around here. So it's a very active area, and next to it there's a community garden, which I will show you as well. There's a monarch. Wow, so beautiful. So even though this is such a beautiful spot, there is just a lot going on around it. So I admire it for the colors and the insects, but it's not really a very relaxing spot for me. But I like to come out here to look at the plants and observe nature, the pollinators, to take photos. Here is some bee balm. Beautiful purple blooms blowing in the wind. You can see some bees feeding on the flowers. Lots of beetles. I think those are invasive Japanese beetles, unfortunately. There's a lot of them flying around. Here's the aster. Beautiful burst of purple. We have goldenrod. It's just starting to bloom. Not a lot of yellow on there yet. It's just still a little bit green. There's the beautiful mountains in the background. That's the highway, which is a very noisy highway. I think this is a great time to look for flowers and meadows in blooming nature, going to different gardens to observe what's blooming and the insects feeding on it. So this area of the meadow right here, it's lacking a little bit right now. There isn't a lot growing here. I think mainly the bottom part is much better in terms of what's blooming right now. Still very beautiful. So let's head to the community garden. There's a little path here that leads. That's the garden over there. And it's divided into individual plots. So different people rent out a space to plant whatever they like and harvest. You can see there's some clouds overcasting now. Such a beautiful day to be out here. So there's a lot going on in the garden right now. There's squash, pumpkins, tomatoes, greens, flowers. people plant all kinds of stuff here, and it's a really nice place to come and explore and look at everything, the vegetables. Here's some cabbage and kale intermixed. People usually plant the marigold to deter insects, but look at these tomatoes. Those ones are huge. So it seems like people really take care of, for the most part, their plots. Got all these tomatoes over here. Lots of ripe ones too. Lots of kale. Squash plants are getting huge. There's some sunflowers over there. Some amaranth. There's cilantro. I have a cilantro plant too, and it went to flower like this as well. And I read that it's great for pollinators, and also I'm excited to harvest some seeds from it. Here are some beautiful sunflowers. You can see some bees flying around them. And the birds love these too. Someone planted some corn over there. Oh, those are squash. Some beautiful corn plants. So, more cabbage. Lots of beautiful things going on in the garden. Here are some butternut squash. There's lots of them already. Lots of tomato plants. You can see some in the vine right here. These are beautiful. They have a beautiful orange color. Some basil intermixed in there. Oh, there's a big tomato plant right here. Some herbs and some flowers there. Milkweed. Some places are overgrown, like right here there's a lot of weeds. This grass seems like they haven't cleared it out. So lots of different levels of maintenance for sure. Some beautiful zinnias. Love the colors on those. Look at this beautiful kale. I think this one is called dinosaur kale. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for joining me today, and it's a beautiful time to get outside right now, so I really encourage you to do so if you're able to. If you have a small park or a big park near you that you can explore, it's really fun, but always bring lots of water, lots of liquids. Stay hydrated because it's really hot out here right now, at least where I live in the mountains. So thank you for joining me again, and please subscribe, and I will see you soon.